So I would just say there's so many reasons to circle this on your calendar, okay? If you got your phone out or your calendar, it's July 23rd to the 26th. You can buy tickets right now at 3mopen.com. Maybe you can remind yourself when the 4th of July is happening and you're seeing all those flags and boats that's a visual reminder to get tickets to the 3M Open. So the big names will play in this tournament. They never know exactly who's coming, but a lot of good ones have come through. If it's a family event for you, carts, 15 and under free. So that's one scenario. I'm going to give you two more. If you just want to have a great day outside, ripping some drinks, sitting on a par 3, in the sun, outside, perfumed air, high thread count, great afternoon with the guys or the girls. And the other thing is, if you're a single lady, I can't think of a more target-rich environment than a PGA tournament. Go in there. It's all dudes. You're going to meet people. You're going to be outside. It's going to be fun. So single ladies, families, groups, 3M Open, it's all happening. Please check it out at 3mopen.com.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I know. I got a little demographics in there. So I'm Brock. I just dove into the net. I got it out of there. And now you're Quinn. You're grabbing it, and you're getting around the cage quick and going the other way with Cub.
I like that because I do like Cub. It's right down the road. I just got to take 2-3 turns. Boom, I'm right there. That's what I like about it. It's my neighborhood grocer. Cub, when I go in there, it's a quick little stop. I know where everything's at. Take a little right. You get the produce, always fresh stuff. You like organic? Yeah, they've got that too. You follow along. You've got your breads. I've got a sweet tooth. Get myself a donut. Swing by the deli. Lunch meats, cheese. You know how I like that sliced. You go down the other section. Yeah, I'm going to pick up a couple of steaks because I like to grill, and I'm probably going to have them ready for the missus or whomever that want to swing by the house to watch Game 6 on the big screen TV. Then you swing through the rest. You grab some ice cream. You make your way out, and then outside, you take a look to your right. There's the liquor store. You're like, you know what? I'm going to need something from that too. That's what I love about Cub. It's got absolutely everything I need and love, and it's right down the road. Shop happy. Shop happy. Cub.
This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast.
Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable. What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing. Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
All right, welcome back to your second round edition of Wild on 7th. Instead of Wild punch their ticket, Game 6, home ice, send the Dallas Stars, Jamie Benn and company back home. We got John King, Kevin Gorg, tardy Joe O'Donnell joining the show eventually. We are all brought to you by our friends at Pilot Games. Make sure, it sounds like the Wild are going to start in Colorado Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, one of those days. It's on the road, so you're going to have to go out, grab a pizza someplace, maybe chicken fingers, french fries, nice little basket, grab a tablet, play some Pilot Games. You'll win some money. The Wild are winning games. Everybody's winning. Your community gets some money. We call that a win-win-win. But how about that victory on home ice? This team has been billed as different. The demeanor around the club has been different. I think the energy has. The players have put it all behind them. And I think where that was illustrated, where the demons were exercised, for me, was first period. Marcus Foligno, one of the guys that has been around for a lot of the first round exits and the noise, came out, and I think he put 3 guys through the glass, and then the primary assist on Quinn Hughes' goal. It looked like he was a man on a mission to kind of put that narrative behind him. So, I mean, Kinger, what do you think watching, and where were you watching from?
Well, first of all, can we title this episode Second Round Entrance, please? Because we are no longer talking about the past. We are with a group of people that are looking forward. I did it at home. You will love this, though. We got it. We got real, and Gorgie, you're going to love this, too. We got real focused, okay? So we did arena fare, arena food in comfort of home hunker, right? So I
love the hunker.
You literally just said what we ate. We had chicken tenders and fries. We ate out of baskets, like paper little bowls, and then we went pizza as the game went on. Cocktails were flowing. So I was in the bunker, but I had the taste of the arena. We will replicate this again. I think it's a good recipe for people in the future, and so much to say. I will say to our listeners, we're gonna give this series its due, and then we will do a Colorado preview after that. Our guests are sponsored by Duke Cannon, and what a treat you guys have. FanDuel finishes with the first round. Applause button for FanDuel, and all of the wonderful things you guys did. I love watching the game locally with some of you absolute stallions on the broadcast. But now all that smarts, all that expertise is just going to go right into this podcast as we look ahead to round 2. So I'm excited about that. I hope you are too. Get your Duke Cannon at Target. Make your hair a weapon. Body washes, get the cologne like the kids do. Let's work harder, smell better, and earn that clean Duke Cannon. I don't know if I answered everything, but I had to get that stuff in there. It was a little bit of business.
Let's go to the superstitions, because I think everybody right now had some. I'm driving in this morning. My mom calls me. She's all excited, saying that she found out in Game 5 that when she leaves the room, Dallas scores, so she has to sit down until there's a commercial, can't leave. Mm-hmm. And then yesterday was out and about and was listening to the game on the radio, and from the moment she left the radio call till got in the house, Dallas took the lead. So then she's like, well, now I got to go listen to the rest of it on radio. So the superstitions were out in full force. Gorgie, 21 cents in the pocket, same 21 cents. What else did you do last night? Because you got to tell us about maybe the key to this whole series.
It's unbelievable. This is one of the great stories of superstition that I've ever seen. So late in the regular season, we're playing a day game in Ottawa. Katie Storm, kind of the newbie on our crew, she's like our little baby sister, decides, because it's an early start, just to pull the hair back and do the power pony. Slick back, tight pony. And the Wild have this awesome game. So I looked at her after the game. I said, tuck that thing away. Game 1 of the playoffs, you got to bring that back. It's going to be the power pony, and it's going to power the Wild to some big wins. So she does. Game 1 in Dallas, she comes out strong with the power pony. Wild wins 6-1. She likes to talk to her mom. Obviously, it's the other broadcast when her mom's watching back home in Delano. Mom doesn't like the hair. Don't like the way it looks on TV. Not a good look. Shows up at Game 2, no power pony. I go, Katie, the assignment was pretty clear. It was pretty simple. We lose tonight, you're going to have a cranky KG. We lose. I'm not happy. So I give her the instructions on the airplane. We're flying back. I said, don't forget, Game 3, power pony. Shows up at Game 3, and she tried to modify it with some half pony, half non-pony crap. And I'm like, you better hope we win. And we lose. And now I'm furious. And so now I get angry. Like, I literally am not happy. And I said, here's the deal. If you don't show up for Game 4 with the power pony, I'm going to come to the set while we're on the air. I'm going to rip that hair back. I'm going to tighten that up, and you're wearing that power pony. She's like, oh, my God. I'm like, yeah, this is serious. She wears the power pony. We win Game 4. Now I tell her, there's nothing else I can lead you with. You know exactly what to do. Shows up in Dallas, Game 5, with the power pony, Wild win. Last night, comes to the rink in the power pony, Wild win. 2 games, no power pony, Dallas wins. All 4 Wild wins. Katie Storm, power pony, #1 star in terms of superstition with the series.
So even though FanDuel's done, we got to get a message out to Katie that we need a photo of the power pony before every game, at least to flip to our socials. If you're a young or old woman attending Wild games, you know, the boys should be in shorts and the ladies should be in a power pony. I think we know what the right body language looks like at this point.
Yeah, we know.
100%.
Yeah, keep the power pony going. But new round, new superstitions, or we keep them rolling.
Well, I do want to talk about the 21 cents. Okay, so this was, first of all, I did not know how sick a puppy you were, Gorg. You're in worse shape than I am as a long-suffering Minnesota sports fan. You are clinical. You are clinical. So, but I was with my buddy last night, and I said, said, what do you think Gorg's high school number was? Because I'm trying to figure out why it's 21 cents. And it was 21.
Well, there's a
So
story
now,
behind the 21.
16 cents now? We're trying to get 16? Modify it? I mean, lots of bad things have happened since 85.
Tell us the 21 story.
All right, so when I was in high school, goalies only were number 1 and number 30. It's back then it was a much different version of hockey. I know goalies now wear 32 and 39 and 29, all that good stuff. Back then it was 1 and 30 all the way up, all the way through youth hockey into high school. And I did remember watching a guy named Jeff Pogel for Hill Murray who wore 21. And I was a kid and I was watching him at the state tournament. He was a really good goalie, currently the coach over at Matamita. And I just this guy's unbelievable. So then I started doing some research, and Tom Osiki, our legendary coach at Burnsville, started the program. And in 1985, and Burnsville had never won a state tournament, it was the 21st year of the program and 21st year for Coach Osiki. And he was a pretty stern guy. And then I looked at the syllables. Burnsville has 2, Braves had 1, Kevin has 2, Gorg has 1. So I went down to Coach Osiki's house. They lived about 4 doors down, scared to death, walked in. I'm buddies with Mark, so I'm down there to hang out with Mark. But I'm like, hey, Coach, I really want to take number 21. He's like, absolutely not. You get 1, you get 30. I'm like, no, dude, I really need 21. He's like, no, you're wearing 1 or 30, figure it out. So a couple weeks go by. It's later in the summer. I come back. I'm like, Coach, here's why I need to wear 21. I told him the whole story, year 21, blah, blah, blah. He goes, we'll see. Show up for tryouts, make the team, get named the starter, and number 21's waiting in my stall. And that's when the whole 21 cents thing started. And then we end up winning the state tournament. So I remember after the tournament, at some point, reminding him of that summer and what a pain in the ass I was. And I've been obsessed with the number ever since. And when Joe O'Donnell sees me, Joe, what do you call me?
21.
21. Joe, you have any superstitions or?
Oh, good Lord. Eagles fan? Yeah, I think he does.
He runs hot. I know that. But.
I tried. So I remember back in 2006, my first full year in the ECHL, we were playing the Las Vegas Wranglers in the playoffs. Okay. Ironically enough, Glenn Gulletson was their head coach for the Wranglers.
Wow.
They played at Orleans Arena. We lost that series. But I would walk through the stands up to the booth area, the exact same row, the exact same way, every game at Orleans Arena. So I have a little psychoticness to my routine. Last night, though, I tried to scale it back, right? I don't always, sometimes I'm like, all right, can't throw that paper out, right? Gotta keep, so weird stuff. But then sometimes I'm like, it has nothing to do with what I'm wearing. How many times I did this on a piece of paper. I will always, I don't even want to get into some of the things I do because they're really weird. However, last night, my pen stopped working.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Before the broadcast starts. And I've had this pen, I've used the same pen for months of this season. Rattled. So I walked down a press row, a little supply area, where the copy machine is and stuff. Of course, things are locked up like Fort Knox because God forbid you can open a cabinet in there and get a stapler without asking for help. So I find the pens after the nice lady unlocks the cabinet. I take a pen, I go back, I sit down. Within 5 letters of writing something down, that pen dies. So now I'm in a tailspin.
Jeez. Nothing but negative thoughts.
Ultimately, I found a pen that worked. The rest is history. But yeah, I'm a little weird. I try not to get too worked up.
The hockey gods wanted you to keep your head up. You didn't need to take notes. You needed to remember it live. That's what the hockey gods wanted there.
Yeah.
The pen wasn't working. I think we have to name the second round, and thank goodness we've got Duke Cannon, but there's going to be some kind of stink. Did you guys happen to notice Kaprizov wore the exact same outfit on the podium game 5 as to the game 6? Down to the cardigan, T-shirt, cardigan, it was all the same. We might have Sid 2.0 on our hands. We've got to dig up some footage and see if we can't find walk-in videos of game 4. Right?
You've seen the shirt he wears underneath his gear.
Yeah, tattered.
It looks like it came out of a war.
Yeah, it's awful.
And I said something to him one time, and he was like, why would I ever replace his shirt?
So he didn't tell you the truth, huh? I think he's got some serious superstitions. We got to get to the bottom of that. We got to get to the bottom. And now I got to buy a Kith shirt too. I don't even know.
You remember Pat Maroon when he was here?
Yeah,
he was wearing the old blue undershirt from like his first season pro,
like Mark Messier would wear.
Like
when he was playing.
Cotton, cotton, not like dry fit, like a cotton. No brand, like Cooperall style,
like say like
Campbell
Cup champion or something like that. Yeah. No, for sure. The other reason is I think our PR team's going to be pretty ripe too. Dylan Daniel has worn the same suit for 3 straight games. He has to wear it game 1 now. So I'm thinking Charlie Brown, that blankie is going to be stinky as everybody's walking around. Superstitions, but they're real.
I am wearing shorts today, Kinger.
Good.
I wanted to, but I thought about putting on a shirt and tie because to me, this is business.
Ooh.
All right?
Ooh.
And I will tell you why. The vibe of the players is very businesslike. And I told you this, Carts, and you too, KG, I think. Coming down to interview Jake Middleton on the postgame show. I'm walking by and Kaprizov's standing in the hallway. Game's over. He's got a stick in his hand. He must have been giving it to somebody in Dallas. And I say, hey, congrats. Let's go. Might have dropped an F-bomb in there, but I don't remember. He looks at me and says, congrats for what? It's only the first round. And I was like,
Jeez.
Okay, then. No congrats. Let's fucking go. I took the congrats back. I love that, dude.
Yeah,
I love that.
Downstairs after was pretty. It was pretty business-like,
Yeah.
I even tried to get Middleton fired up because I wanted to do FanDuel. It was our last ever show.
This is great.
And I wanted the send-off to be because the final shot was going to be of Kevin and I downstairs.
Yep.
And then we send it back up to Anthony and Katie and Wes, and they say goodbye for good. And then there's this montage. I wanted them to cut to us, and it was tarps off with Middleton in the middle, just 3 guys.
And that did not happen?
No,
that did not
Middleton
happen.
was even like Middleton was like usually
he asked if Gorg was comfortable with it.
Yeah, he did ask if Gorg was.
If I looked like Ryan Carter, I would have been more than comfortable with it.
If he would have been like, "Hey, we're going tarps off. I'm in the middle of this interview. We're throwing this out to these guys." Would you have done it?
I have no idea. It didn't happen.
Didn't you have a tarp off? You had something tarp off earlier this year, didn't you? Or like,
well, no, there was a time when it was going to happen. We were going to do the not weird wild thing, and there was going to be like this. You and LaPanta were upstairs setting up the. Whatever
that's your thing.
Game preview, and all of a sudden you were going to cut down to the locker room, and me and Middleton were going to be down there shirtless. And thank God, Tony Tortorisi, our executive producer, said, "No, we are not doing that."
But
Kevin Gorg will be keeping his shirt on. We don't need Furry Bear coming out. That's not what the fans are looking for.
Just to finish that thought though, for the fans, for the staff members. Especially on the business side, the people that sell tickets, the marketing folks, the digital content team, even Craig Leopold last night, seeing him, everybody was really excited. And I don't want to say that more was accomplished than actually was, but just to get that monkey off the back from a fan base standpoint and the people that are in the trenches every day, 8 to 5 in the office, which I am certainly not. So I'm not putting myself in that group. But I'm happy for those people. They're the ones that felt like maybe more was accomplished than actually is. And that's great. That's the way it should be. You work so hard off season. There's not a lot of days off for the business staff, right? That's just not a thing. They deserve this. They deserve to celebrate any way they want. For the players, though, it's awesome. The narrative is switched. But they know this isn't why they signed up to play hockey. This isn't why they started the season. Billy G at the start of the year didn't say, let's win the first round. The goal is much bigger. So I love the fact that they seem like that's not lost on them. And I'm not that I expect it to be, but I just, watch the celebration, watch the handshake line. They weren't acting like they just won the
it wasn't
Bantam,
like you looked at
Bantam
Philly
Cup in Blaine.
Watch the Philly game, and Philly
Yes.
acted like they won a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
They're
Which is
a much
also,
younger team. And again, Philly
Which I was
bunch of
pumped
kids.
about, like the way they celebrated, to be honest. Like they, for Dan Vladar, like he was, and you listen, that
Wallstead
emotion
wanted to
isn't-
sell you hard, though. Wallstead wanted to sell you hard.
I know. That
He's
emotion's
like, come on, guys,
not,
come on.
that emotion's not fake. And so I love that. But I hear exactly what you're saying, Carts. And again, to my point, like the fact that this is a veteran team, and talking with Midzi afterwards, he's like, I'm just going to have a beer. And I'm like, but like, he's just like, I'm going to treat this like I did between games 5 and 6. Like they got the win in game 5. It was great. It's all about how you recover the next couple of days because the Avs are waiting and you don't have a huge layoff. So I just love the vibe I got initially from the players and hearing some of them talk, and they know the job's not done. It's just one step. And that's for a fan base, that's got to be so encouraging. You enjoy this, you celebrate it, but then you look at the leaders of the team and the message they're putting out there, and they're saying that this isn't darn near good enough.
Yeah, there's good leadership in that group for sure. But and there might be some recency bias here, but some could say maybe the biggest goal of the season was Matt Boldy's overtime winner. And but with recency bias, how important was that Tarasenko goal the biggest goal of the season?
Yes.
And at some point,
Yes.
weren't we on this podcast talking about how Tarasenko is going to have his moment? Like he's
Joel
the kind
O'Donnell.
of guy. He's the kind of guy that's going to have his moment. And it's funny, ironic, like say what you want. Hines was asked about him because he had some lineup decisions. Was it going to be Yurov? Was it going to be whomever? How come Tarasenko's not out? Have you gotten enough from him? And Hines is just like, yeah, we've liked the way that he's played, but also we know what he can do if the puck ends up on his tape in a scoring area. Like you just know, and eventually it's going to come. And then that game, Wild. So if we just track the game, it was probably the best period of hockey, the first 20 minutes. I think the Wild
They played unreal
in that series, and it should have been more than 1-0. Wasn't, and actually that was a source of anxiety a little bit for me in the booth. Come out second period, things are fine. They get the power play. Power play stunk, and then it was like, Dallas gets one power play goal. You're like, here it is. It's happening. Like, this is terrible. It's happening again. Then Maverick Bourque comes down, scores, and then all of a sudden, like, you need somebody from this team to step up and prove that it's different. And who is it? Unlikely hero, but the guy that they, throughout the year, Hines and Billy and everybody has said could be the guy. Experience will matter. And it's Tarasenko scores this goal, and just all of a sudden, order is restored. Like, that, for me, biggest goal of the year because it looked like Dallas about to take that game over. How about his celebration on the ice, too, King?
His reaction, I mean, if anyone wanted a goal more than him in the entire world, I don't know who it was, the blowing of the kisses to his beautiful wife and 30 children or whatever, it was amazing. And then my favorite was when they cut to him on the bench. Like, once he scored, like, he was just back.
It was
and
Coach Tarasenko.
He had the iPad out.
Hey,
He's
this
like,
is
"So,
where I'll
see-
be from now on."
See, that's the first time you put it there. That's where I like it. And if you look at here, I knew, if you look, I caught the rebound and then I went to my, he was just, he like just elevated. He was
back. I'm back,
feet,
baby.
8 feet tall on the bench. I want to echo what Joe said. Okay. So my favorite moment, because I don't know how to feel. This has been weird. If you're a Wild fan, these last couple games have been weird. I think primarily because the hockey team is better than the fan base. Okay. So we're trying to catch up. We're trying to figure out how to behave, right? And I think a lot of these players, they know how to behave. So when we won, FanDuel cuts to the press box and Billy Guerin is up there. And I swear to God, lasers were coming out of his eyes. I've never seen someone more.
Which game was this?
This is last night.
Tonight, or last night, yeah.
If you look at the second that they're banging heads with the
No
goalie,
emotion.
they cut to the box, and Billy's up there like he's trying to figure out who should make the Olympic team. I mean, he is There's no emotion, laser eyes, unfinished business. I thought Faber was the same way post game with Gorgie. I don't know if you could hear the interview in the stadium. Maybe you couldn't. I couldn't tell. But I mean, he had every reason to say something pithy about the state of hockey or talk about the fans or how loud it was in here. We're going to need you next round. And he was just like, this is not even close to what we have in mind. And I think, the two guys that seemed excited, Wally and Moose on the bench jumping, was like, that gave me as a fan, that was like the one guy from a body language standpoint that allowed himself a little bit of joy. But the rest of them, I mean, it is Quinn Hughes. I mean, if you look, he's, on to the next, right? I mean, this is, what are you congratulating us for, right? This is, that Billy shot, though, I was like, oh, I guess this is what we're supposed to be like. I mean, I don't even know how to walk around today.
Again, one point I have to illustrate is about experience and the pain I think some of these guys have had to endure. So let's just look at Marcus Foligno. He came out great first period. I thought he inspired everybody, physical, primary apple on the Quinn Hughes play. Could have had a goal brought to the backhand, still yawning net. I bet you that kept him up, but maybe the wind helped him sleep a little better. But there was a time where it looked like maybe he was going to take a penalty, like go over the line a little bit with his excitement, with the aggression. But it's like almost instantly the memories jump back into his mind because he got up from a battle. I think it was Liam Bischel, and it looked like he was going to be all hot, incensed, and kind of go off. And he's like, "This is more important. There's something bigger going on here." And then he tempered it. It went away, and then no more penalty box. Don't give Dallas a PP. Like, I think these guys truly have learned. They're using their experience. Like, it's showing up right now. I think we got to also throw a bouquet to Quinn Hughes. Gosh, the guys and Bill Guerin, this Olympic team, I think we've learned a lot about some of the guys on this Wild team through the Olympic team. Quinn Hughes played last night like he wanted to win. That first period, it was, we're going to win. I'm going to be a factor. Like, there was no doubt in Quinn's mind that he was going to be a factor. And then some guys just have it. They just have it. Yeah, that was a great play on Quinn Hughes' first goal. But some guys they just have it. And he goes to shoot the puck through the crease on the backside. It ends up hitting off a defender's skate in the net for the eventual game winner. Like, that just happens to good players.
He did that on purpose, don't you think?
Well, I think he shot wide of the net on purpose. I don't know that he was.
He did say that after the game. He was shooting to an area, seeing traffic on the weak side, and thinking that it might hit something and go in. So, to Joe's point, he absolutely was thinking that. And I just think, I'm glad you brought up Billy Guerin, guys, because as I was watching that game unfold last night, I was thinking about what he did in the offseason and then into the season. Maybe one of the more subtle moves was going out and getting Tarasenko, who had a terrible year last year in Detroit. And there were some question marks from the national pundits when he went out and got Tarasenko. And then, of course, the aggressive move to bring in Quinn Hughes. I find that super interesting that, in this all-important game where they can finally put the narrative to bed, move on to the second round in the middle of this 4 or 5 year window where they look like a cup contender. It's those two moves that pay the biggest dividends in that game. And, Bill Guerin, he look at the moves he's made, and I don't think this is a coincidence. I don't think it was a coincidence that the team came together the way they did for Team USA, and I think this team's got something similar, guys.
I think I couldn't agree more. And then I think you have to also look at the other guys like McCarron and Nick Foligno, all the impact they had. Gorgie, tell the story if you can, because we talked to Nick Molino. I was up late last night.
You were
burning it on both ends. I went to. We were out. Nick Foligno after the second period. Yep. Gorgie.
Yeah, this is great.
Did he go with a ponytail?
He didn't talk about the power pony, but all of a sudden, I'm waiting for Tarasenko, and he takes forever to come out, which is fine. I'm waiting on Vladdy, and the door's partially open, and I hear someone screaming. And when it's a coach, it doesn't happen very often, and so I like to kind of listen to if it's Hines or whoever it might be, and just kind of get a feel for what's going on. And whoever it is right away is just like, it's supposed to be effing hard. It was never effing going to be. And it was like inspiring. And the room is dead silent. And this guy is just going off. And I look at the security guy. I go, is that Nick Foligno? And he goes, yep. And I go, holy S, like this is impressive. And, again, he hasn't been here for the narrative. He hasn't been through all the BS, but he understood the moment. Like, this is it right here. This is our opportunity. We just got the tying goal. We're in the locker room. We're not going to be happy. We're going to be angry. We're going to come out with that edge to our game. And so I saw him after the game. I'm like, that was you after the second period. He goes, no, it wasn't.
It was Spurgeon.
Exactly. He goes, it was Spurgeon. I go, that's as loud as I've heard Jared Spurgeon talk in a long time. It was really cool.
And then Joe and I catch him, and I'm giving him a hard time. I was like, hey, why did Marcus shoot that? He's like, I don't know. That's what I said, because we were talking about the play where he sends it all the way over to Sturm.
He
Sturm
had
one
it.
touches
I mean,
it
it
back.
was there.
Then that was wide open. He's like, I had to holler at Marcus. We would have been on Sports Center had he scored that.
Yeah, and then he chirped little brothers in general.
Yeah, it's like little brothers.
That's great.
Just real quick, I after the game, probably the arena was empty, and I saw the Folignos go into the stands to see some family or friends that were there, and both Nick and Marcus were there, and there was like 3 or 4 people. And then on my way out on the concourse, I was near those same people. And I didn't say anything to them, but I could hear them talking. And they were just saying how cool it is for the Folignos. Like, they were like, Marcus hasn't been out of the first round. And Nick, and then they said Mike. They were talking about, their dad. And Mike got out of the first. So, like, just for a family that's got 2,000 NHL games, it might be closer to 3,000, right?
Closer to 3, probably, yeah.
NHL games as a family, some guys just, don't have the success other guys do, right? You could be in your first year and you go to the conference finals and think it's easy and maybe never get back. You could win a Stanley Cup early. You could go 1,200 games without ever getting to the playoffs. So, kind of crazy that
timing matters. Timing matters. And again, I think Billy, we've said this about Billy too, and John, he's as much a marketer and a guy that understands feeling and storylines as he is a guy that understands hockey. To bring 2 brothers who are passionate players that are leaders, good guys, to a group for a bump of energy and some positivity. I don't think that's something that just happened. Like he thought of
this guy. He's a CMO, right? He's had Ryan Reeves in here. He's had Pat Maroon, Marc-Andre Fleury. He goes global to the Global Series. He's got the brothers.
Quinn Hughes.
The Quinn Hughes trade. This is
Spit and Chicklets.
We used to complain about no NHL store. We felt like we were in the junior varsity of the NHL, and this is a big lights on the marquee guy. I mean, it's been awesome. I want to say how happy I am. Part of the fan base, the team being better than the fan base, is this looking back thing, right? This narrative, even the word narrative, there is none. We're writing it now, right? This whole and it's real. I mean, it was 10 years. It sucked. But even when they ask the players, they're just like, I was trying to figure out a metaphor for this. And I think it's, if you had several wives, right? And you said to your new wife, hey, none of the other wives went the distance. Just so you know, that looks really bad on the husband, right? Okay, that doesn't sound like true love. That doesn't sound like this relationship is all that matters. It sounds super weird. And that's what we've been carrying around with us. We did it even in 1980 with Miracle. We did it to a degree with 2003, and we can't watch the Brunette goal enough. This is a team, a windshield team. They are looking forward. They are trying to figure out what's next, on to the next one, have a beer, let's go, one beer or whatever the case may be. But I just think it's just been so the feeling of like calm and relief and just watching a really good hockey team do what they're supposed to do. I mean, it's not something we've had.
I like that metaphor because I think the fan base has been in that scenario. The the prenuptial agreement where they're like, we don't really love you. We want to have this agreement where we'll be together, but when it's no longer good, we want to be able to say, and then not get hurt by this. Okay. So the fan base has been the prenuptial agreement in that scenario. But I think that prenuptial agreement's being torn up, and this group is doing a good job with that. So I do want to give Kinger some credit. We got to give Huss some credit here too, because when did this series change? When did it really actually change?
Well, we got to give a guy named Pat Nagel some credit because he sent me this text of the Razor, and he just said vicious underneath it. I think I was driving, and I sometimes look at my phone when I drive. Apologies. I'm sure someone will talk to me about that at the Grand Casino next time. But it made me so upset, Karts. I called you right away, and I'm like, have you seen this? This guy, like Herb Brooks just caught a stray. Like, I don't know exactly what he said. There were too many syllables, but it's hurting my feelings and making me super, super angry. And it's ironic that the Razor is the one that broke the stars, and we're the ones that don't have to shave our playoff.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, no, and
I want to go a different route. Karma's still undefeated.
Karma's undefeated, and I don't want to look back. I don't want to dance on their grave.
And we're not going to do that now.
But that,
Classy.
I mean, that wasn't a great
classy.
moment. You know, hey, thank you for the opportunity to get involved. That's all I would say. As a podcast, we were able to get involved, play a tiny, tiny role, even if it was just for the fan base.
Pointed out.
I love.
Pointed out. They go ahead. Yeah, they picked a fight with Karma. They lost a little bit. You know.
I love two things about this. One, Daryl Ray is like Mr. Dallas Star. Like, as much as Tom Reed could be, symbiotic with the Wild, like Daryl Ray has been there forever, as I told you guys before. So a lot of respect there from my perspective on just how long he's been doing it. But the fact that Kinger doesn't know who he is.
Cut that part out, please.
Kinger doesn't know who he is.
He always covers his ass. He does like a 10-minute.
Yeah.
Kinger doesn't know who he is. Love that. And Kinger had no idea who Glenn Gulletson was and called him a ginger, even though he has blonde hair as clear as day. So
it's my own reality.
I know. Like, you have such a good pulse on the fan base, and then sometimes are just like on the other team, zero clue. Doesn't matter.
That's okay.
Don't care. Okay. Do not care at all.
Hey, I'm gonna double down on that, Joe, because one of the greatest things about hockey in the NHL is that after a series you shake hands, and Jamie Benn was shaking Ryan Hartman's hand, Blackwell, Trenyans, the goaltenders, they shake hands, and I've got to say the Razor and his vocabulary still does cut. The guy's got it. He's broadcasting HOF, and I'd just like to shake his hand right now from a little further north on 35. But it was a fun little bit. We got involved in it, and it was great. But yeah, lesson learned: don't pick a fight with Karma. But the Razor's a good dude. He still cuts. I like his bit. For a broadcasting HOF guy.
We look forward.
I got to tell him that, and I didn't mean this as probably as it sounded, but I was kind of like, I asked both him and Josh Bogorad, who does their play-by-play, like if they had any national games coming up, meaning like second round, right? Like, because each of those guys has done national games. And they were like, no, not that we're aware of. I was like, all right, well, see you guys for a meaningless preseason game in September. Like, I think that came across not the way I intended it. Well, but I was like, that'll be the next time I see you is September.
Which is true.
Well, yeah.
Safe travels.
Yeah. Zing. Across the top. Right off the bow. Yeah, so what else, Kinger? You got anything else on the placard over there?
I'd like to keep talking. I mean, we woke up winners. We woke up winners this morning. I'm still trying to figure out what it means. Let me see. I got a few things. The Foligno brothers, I know we talked about them, but I'm going to talk about on the ice. Watching these guys delete people, I mean, to be able to watch a game on TV and you're yelling out like, I think Foligno just killed a man because he got Bischel at the end. Like, there's like only 5 minutes left, I think, and he just they take life away. These are hits, and when they get them in the missile lock, when they really get a guy, they're dead. it's a different hit. Marcus, we've seen him do it multiple times. Nick got yesterday too, right on the boards there by the bench. But
Yep.
It was an elbow.
having thing 1 and thing 2 from Dr. Seuss running around with Big Sexy, with Trenny, who's only going to get stronger as he keeps coming back into his 13 hit. I think that meat, is that what you guys used to call it? The meat, the heavies? I think something happened where over the course of the series, I felt it in the last game. I saw moments when Heiskanen, again, I probably don't know how to pronounce his name either, but they almost just stopped. Like they just look like that was enough. I think that the meat, those hits, the brothers, at some point Dallas was like, we're good. Like, we're good. And I watched it play out on screen. I'm like, this guy's not going into the corner anymore.
No.
He's not fighting in the puck battle. He has one stick on the side. He's not even fighting anymore. That over the course, and I'm not going to get into Colorado yet, but I think this is going to be key to the next round, is this physicality in the right way. And just a shout out to the whole Foligno family and the big boys, because that was some medium rare meat for 6 games, and I think it made the difference. I think
I would actually call it pulsating meat if I was being. That for all the folks that follow
from the X machine?
Kevin Fallness. If you follow Kevin Fallness getting after our boy Tony Pants on the Twitter machine, I would call it pulsating meat myself.
Oh,
I got a few stream of consciousness things, or whatever that term would be. So if I could kinger here for a minute and have the floor. Speaking of karma, Mikko Rantanen with the flop.
Oh boy!
Slash. That unfortunately his head bounced off the ice. Sorry. But then concussion protocol pulled him from the game. So you want to pretend that Foligno dumped you, and you want to lay there with your hands and your head. And then when you get up, you're fine. And then you get all hacked off because the spotter pulled you. Sorry, dude.
he was hot.
He was a non-factor all series, which is incredible.
We had a camera right on him. Yeah, he was not happy when the trainer was pulling him off. It was great.
I mean, if he doesn't do that, run at Foligno, leg clip, fly into the air, then his head hit the ice, his helmet hit the ice, they're not pulling you off. So just play the game.
And to Kinger's point, though, if Faber isn't hard, if Middleton isn't heavy, like all those guys on Rantanen, getting him to the spot, and we showed a shot chart, he had 0 shots like in the slot. He scored the 1 power play goal there. He had 0 shots from a scoring area. The guy was a non-factor because he wasn't willing to go where you need to be a factor. And I think that was physicality too. Keep going, Joe.
I do have to give their power play, the Stars power play, some flowers.
Jeez.
I mean, take away one option, it's in the back of the net a different way.
They scored 10 power play goals.
Dude, I've never seen anything
in
like
6 games. In 6 games, they had 10 power play goals. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it was every single time it felt like the Wild took a penalty, the Stars scored on the power play. They had no life in that hockey game last night. 1 power play, and it was textbook back of the net. I mean, impressive. Anyway, definitely wore them down throughout the series. Wild players are talking about that. They could feel it as the series moved along, that they were getting the upper hand in some of that physicality and just being a pain in the ass to play against. And I'll go back to March. Wild Panthers. It was a morning skate at the practice rink in Florida. Paul Maurice spoke. I didn't see it live, but I watched it afterwards because I try to do a good job preparing for these games. Some of you might not know. Paul Maurice, I'm pretty sure. I almost want to go back. I'm such a psycho. I want to go back and find the clip. I'm pretty sure Paul Maurice said, when asked about the Wild, who, his team was fading out of a playoff spot. The Wild, he knew were going to the playoffs. Was asked about Minnesota. And I got to go find the quote, but I'm almost certain it's a 2-time back-to-back Stanley Cup champion head coach, Paul Maurice of the Panthers, that said, this Wild team is a team that when you play them in the playoffs, they'll take a pound of flesh from you. And that's exactly what the hell the Wild did to the Stars in this series.
I think
the injuries early were on Minnesota's side, right? Because of the dirty hits, the cross checks. Minnesota kept their cool. They got cross checked in the neck more than the Dallas Stars won hockey games. more than they had even strength goals in the series. Now, I bet you if you went, look, there's more cross checks to the upper body of Wild players than the Stars had even strength goals in the series. Yet Minnesota found a way to frustrate them, to wear them down, and ultimately they took their will. They really did.
You know how sometimes like the worst thing that happens to you turns out to be one of the best things that happened to you, and sometimes vice versa. I think it's possible that that's playing out with the Central and how good it was this year. So Minnesota finishing in third in the Central, having to go on the road to play Dallas. I think it was good for the Wild to have to start on the road. It's different, less energy, or like more of a focused energy. You don't have to deal with the pressure, all these other things. But also the opponent was so good that it was polarizing, that they had to be attentive and good with detail. Otherwise, they were going to get run out of the series. So they all kind of came together, understood that, hey, it starts from our own end and in front of our net out. That's how we win this series. And I think they played that way. I think that they were steadfast in their belief in how they have to play and how they have to win that series. And I also think that carries over because they now know. They take a breath last night after they win that game, coming off the ice after the handshake, and they say, it only gets a little bit tougher. Now we've got Colorado. And you think about the teams that win, they're good defensively. They're good in their detail, and these two opponents that the Wild have had to face in the first round, it sucks. Say what you want about the playoff seeding. One should play 8, this, that, the other. I tend to agree with that, but it might just work out in the Wild favor that they have the two toughest matchups right out of the gate because it's kept their attention. And it's putting them in a spot where for a month they have to play a great dialed brand of hockey.
No, it's great. And I watched all the post-game stuff, and I love bumper stickers, right? And so Hines talked about playing for each other. That's a phrase you hear a lot. But he said this group is in it to win it, right? That's the mentality, in it to win it. That is a very different – that doesn't sound very much like first-round exit or whatever the monkey we were carrying around in our back. Quinn, we're trying to win instead of keeping it safe. That's how we've been playing every game. He talked about on to the next, and then he said ice and veins, right? That's that Billy look. Marc-Andre Fleury doing Let's Play Hockey, proven winner, right? I think these guys are going to help us learn how to stand up straight in Minnesota and get on our front foot because it sure felt nice to watch them these last couple games. And besides maybe when the goalie was pulled I can still get worried about Michael Bunting. I thought he was going to have 10 goals last night. I was terrified. Brodin's out. We can always find something to worry about, but we've got a really good hockey team, and I'm very excited to watch them square off against Colorado.
So I thought the biggest goal of the year was Tarasenko, but I think the sequence that won the Wild that game was, do you remember the Trenyon turnover in the third? Where he turns it over, coming around the net, and you could almost see, I could see it start to develop. Guys were starting to get nervous with the puck a little bit. Execution was fading. They're feeling the pressure, and Trenyon got the puck behind Volstead, and there's nobody to pass the puck to. Everybody's kind of going for a change because they want to keep the lines short. So he's forced with having to lug the mail, skated out of the zone himself. And he gets to about the blue line, tries to make a play, and pocket's picked. Sam Steele goes the other way, and I think it's Blackwell that ends up getting a great shot one-timer on Volstead. That save was, I think, the turning point, because then it's a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, Quinn Hughes goes down and scores that goal. It was like that save now, too, is the save of the year. Volstead, in each game, I think, had at least one save where it was like that might be the save of the game. That might be the save of the series. And he had one in Game 6. I'm just going to, before I let you in, Kinger, how about Ottinger on the other end? Talked about it coming into the series that like he's kind of built as the guy, like up there kind of knocking on the heels of Vasilevsky, Sorokin, Shesterkin, some of these guys. .899 in the regular season, down year. Under sub 900 save percentage in the series too. It's not like he played bad, but Volstead outplayed him in, I think, probably 4, if not 5 of those games.
Top of the net is open. I mean, he's so low. He goes down all the time. I mean, the book is out on that. Whether those 3% differences are big differences in the NHL. That save. It's funny. This is another reason to love playoffs. We're watching the game in the house. Guy I'm watching it with, remember that save. Broadcast, Ryan Carter, remember that save. You said it twice. And these are the moments that add up to success. And the other thing, I think if we've learned anything, it's don't get too high, don't get too low. Because this is 1/4 of the way, the journey you want to go. And I felt like it's been a lifetime in this Dallas series. And you're only, Kevin, if you had your money in your pocket, this is what, this is 5 cents out of 21. Like,
yeah, think about that. That puck board. I love that puck board that they've incorporated into their post game celebration, and they add another puck. And I was watching on social media this morning from last night's festivities, and it's really cool. They have the 4 pucks kind of lined up from this series on that puck board, and then you see the vacant spots, the other 12 spots, and you're like, I'm exhausted right now. And I wasn't playing. I was broadcasting, and I'm literally emotionally exhausted. And they have to do this 3 more times to win a cup. And then I think about the Florida Panthers and what they did, going to the cup, losing, and then winning 2 in a row. I can't imagine what that took. And clearly it took a ton out of them because they weren't the same team this year with everything. But no, it's exciting. The takeaways last night, I got to be on the bench waiting for Brock Faber and watching the handshakes. And I think when you start, when I did back in 06, and you get that run in the middle of, 2014, 2015, you start to take it for granted that they're going to have all these runs, right? Suter and Parise are here. We're going to go on all these runs. And that 11-year gap, seeing that last night, I'd forgotten what a cool thing that is when you're not on the wrong side of it and you're sitting there and you have the crowd staying and standing. And there's 19,000 people and they're cheering and the handshake gets done and the team, acknowledges the crowd. That's magic, man. That's the kind of stuff that, I think we need to cherish and hope that this team can do it a few more times here this year.
Gorg, we got to keep you with the podcast from here on out. We're working on a deal behind the scenes to get maybe some remote podcasts from Denny's so that we can replenish ourselves with the steak and eggs after some of these emotional roller coasters, round 2. But yeah, we should talk about that a little bit. Round 2 is, and I don't want to go there yet because we should just allow ourselves to enjoy this a little bit. But there was some scary stuff that came out of last night's game a little bit. Eriksson Ek left for a bit. He returned, which we think is a good sign. The thought of having to face a Colorado club without a guy like Eriksson Ek or Jonas Brodin all of a sudden becomes frightening. But we'll save that for another one. We're going to do another podcast kind of setting up the series against Colorado. So I think the thought today is just, hey, let's celebrate this win a little bit. But any other memorable moments from you guys on the game?
What's the schedule? Do we know?
We don't know yet.
Okay, is it going to be like, how early could it be? I don't understand how.
Monday,
Sunday or Monday.
I think Monday's probably your best bet. Could be Sunday, could be Tuesday. But I think Monday's the best bet.
It's my understanding. I did a little bit of digging here. Hopefully I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. It's going to depend on the games tonight. So if all the series that are playing tonight end, I think the Wild leave tomorrow, play Sunday.
Yeah, because there's potential game 7s. Yeah. They won't put it
one or more
7 day.
Yeah, if we have 1 or more game 7s, then you're looking at Monday or possibly Tuesday. And couple things, just me personally looking at that or thinking about that, like, yeah, let's go get it. But the rest for this team, and I don't think anybody wants a week off, right? Unless you're really banged up. But the more time between game 1 today and game 1, the better for the 2 Swedes and everybody else. But in particular, the 2 Swedes that are so invaluable to this hockey team and do so many things for this hockey team. So
I also think that the more time between now and game 1, benefits the Wild because it's more time that Colorado's been sitting there twiddling their thumbs trying to, stay in playoff mode. That is challenging. You see that often in playoffs. Teams that sweep have a hard time getting back up to speed.
Can I ask you
And another thing, sorry, Kinger, the other thing I've been thinking about too as this series was moving along between the Wild and the Stars is think about how long the coaches prepared for the opposition with the Wild and the Stars in particular. I mean, they openly talked about it. Yeah. So they openly talked about they were watching Dallas games and Stars coaches were watching Wild games for weeks. And I'm sure the Wild did some pre-scouting just in case they advance, right? You always got to be looking ahead. But Colorado's been sitting there watching the Wild and the Stars, knowing for a few days now that they're obviously advancing and they swept the Kings. So they're starting to pick apart the game plans and the two teams. And now the Wild coaches, I'm sure today, aren't getting much of a rest at all, right? They are dialed in on Colorado.
Yeah, we got here, quick turnaround. I think I was here at 9:30 in the morning, and all the coaches were already here. They're already at work. Like, all business in their office too. I think though it's probably a less heavy lift than you think in playoffs. And I'll let you after this, John. Coaches are watching their own team's game. I think it's fool's gold chasing the other team and trying to figure out what you're going to do to stop them. It's more what you can do to make your group the best that they can be. And I think Hines and company have done a good job of that in this first series. They made some minor adjustments to try to stop Dallas from doing a couple of things they wanted to. They had success, but Gulletson even, I think, opened my eyes to that a little bit where you don't spend as much time on the opposition as maybe you do during the regular season. Playoffs is about you and what you can do, and the adjustments are in kind of effort and commitment and battle level, things like that. So, what else you got?
I was going to ask you a player question because you've gone deep in the playoffs. So when you win rounds, are the guys celebrating? Like, are you? Is there a green light? Are you at the bar on Friday night?
It's not like baseball, but yes.
Is there? And does that? I would think that could potentially be helpful to a team that's close to go, blow off some steam.
You need an emotional dump.
Or is it all suit and tie, like Joe was saying? I mean, because the window, if you don't know if you're going to play on Sunday, you're certainly not tying one on for the Derby on Saturday, right? But like, when do the guys get to be, I guess, cowboys a little bit in the playoffs, or is it just, it feels like if it's all business that it gets old. Like you got to have some time to blow off some steam.
There's some time. I think that the group shrinks a little bit. Your focus becomes narrowed. You're happy with just the guys that you're with, and you celebrate with them. It doesn't have to be an all-nighter. It doesn't have to be at the club. It's just like a cheers over a poker game or a video game, whatever the kids do now, So it's different. It's a different release. I think the further along you go, too, the more serious it becomes, and the more you realize like that you're in rare air, and you're like, you celebrate that with gratitude more than like jubilation.
Yes.
So I think that happens as well. But I think that there were a couple of pops had last night for sure, and they'll probably sweat them out today. But I think it probably ends there.
Yeah, I would think. I brought this cowboy hat, boys. See, I don't know if you can see this. Just a last thing from me. This was a Western, right? This is the team that left our town, took our team. And in a Western, there's heroes and villains. And I think really the Stars were the villains in this series. If you just look at the way they behaved and you look at the way our guys responded, we were wearing the white hat, not the black hat. And in the end, it proved to be the winning recipe. The state of hockey defeated Texas hockey. And this is a team that's trolled us a lot over the years on social media and everything else. And, I just think it was great to see us be ourselves and not worry about them and get the win. And I guess in closing, I would just say, how about them Cowboys?
Oh, so good. Yeah.
Well played, awesome. Kinger. Well said, too.
Yeah, it was great to watch.
All right, fellas, appreciate the help for round one. Joe, you're going to have to be boots on the ground for us round two. FanDuel's done. You're there. Yeah, and as much as we'd like that TV would simulcast, we're not going to ask that, Joe. We're not going to say, hey, let the TV guys jump in there, right? Is that right, Kevin? We don't want that.
No. We got to let radio take over. And you know what, Joe, you got to get on that plane. You got to get that pallet ready to rock and roll. There's going to be a few extra, maybe appetizers waiting for you there. Maybe a second course. Hey, it's going to be your world, and we're all living in it. You're a play-by-play guy, and it's now only one play-by-play guy on that bird.
Hey,
I
text
don't
me.
have to worry about them telling me that there's no cheeseburgers left by row 16 anymore. There's less people on the plane.
Text
I'm going to
us
have so much FOMO.
Text us if you need questions. So, as a broadcast, it's contracted that we get like 5 minutes with Hines on a game day to ask him some questions for the show. And Joe's always in there with us, but now without TV, it's just going to be a one-on-one with Joe.
How about that?
That's going to be something.
I said to Heinze yesterday, you're stuck with me till June.
Stuck with you till June.
I love that. That's the right way to put it. Like, this team's good. And I think for all of us as Minnesota sports fans, maybe now we can actually get into that windshield theory that Kingers talked about, because we always have this insecurity, like it's never going to work out. And on a night where both the Wolves and the Wild punched their ticket to the second round for the first time ever in conjunction, we can look forward now and we can say this team is legitimately good enough to win a cup. And I said before the series started, before Dallas and Minnesota dropped the puck, team that wins that series is going to the Stanley Cup and representing the West. I'm standing by it. The Wild are beating the Avalanche. We'll get into that when we do our preview. But this team is more than good enough to get the job done. I don't care what the betting market says. We got Wally. We got Quinnesota. We got the Cowboy up there on screen. We're ready to go.
We got 21 cents in our pocket. Let's go. We're here.
Let's
Till
go.
it's here.
Whoa.
You can't step on what?
Whoa. I'm sorry, but this is notable. Kevin Gorg, Nervous Nelly last night, texted me pregame
It's true.
and said 5-2 Wild.
He did.
The
Free money.
exacta.
Free money.
5-2 Wild. And when they had the empty goal, the empty net, I thought to myself, this son of a. And then I bump into Alex Stalock post game, and what's
and
he
he's
tell
trying
me?
to steal my thunder.
I had 5-2 Wild, he says, before Gorg.
What a clown.
I'm like the two of you. So, but I have receipts. Gorg normally so nervous, anxious. It's not looking good. We're in trouble. Mr. 21, nailed it. 5-2 final in Game 6. So I feel better that Gorg feels better.
I bet on your horse, and any listener, what's he called? I bet $20 on him to win. What's your guy on Saturday?
Chief Wallaby to the top of the stretch in the 152nd Kentucky Derby, and down the stretch they come. Oh, it's going to be great fun.
I put all my money on Pernicious.
Is that a horse? Too many syllables to run. All right. Love you guys. Keep riding with us.
That was a shot at Razor. I got it.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Now you can do it. Now
We're
you can
here.
Till it's here.